Hey everybody, Fishman here. Welcome to the video. A little while ago I had put up a poll, and it was in regards to which project you guys would like to see me work on most next. And the two front runners were this, which is the indoor pond, and the large 7-foot tank. And then I promptly got around to doing literally nothing on either of them. Sorry about that. It's been really quite busy, and actually still is. But I do need to get this set up. I need to drill it, which is what I'm going to do today, and then I need to get it plumbed and running because the angelfish in the 7-foot tank are not playing nice with the guppies. They are, as I expected, eating all the fry that get dropped, but also they seem to be harassing even the adult guppies a little bit. It's not anything serious at the moment, but they are going to get larger and probably more aggressive, especially as they start to think about pairing off. And I think it's a good idea to give the guppies their own home, which is going to be this. Now, I may also put in the white clouds in here. I do want to put that egg separator somewhere, and I think it actually might fit nicely in this. But the thing is, we'll have to wait and see on that. I want to see how everything goes, of course. So what I'm going to do here first is I'm just going to pop a hole in the 3/4 inch plywood. I like to drill from both sides simply because it cuts down on all the possibility of push through, which will give you, the splinters and that sort of thing. So it's just easier to go from top and bottom, and it gives you a nice clean hole on both sides. Now you notice I have changed the position of the barrels. I was originally going to put the waterfall on this side where the barrel is now, and then have it fill into the bottom part on the other side. But I changed my mind because it just seems to be a bit more room on the side where I'm standing right now for the input, so it would just be much simpler. If I had to put it on the other side, I probably would have had to use the lathe and the milling machine to really shorten one of the fittings, and it's not a big deal, but this way it'll just make the plumbing a lot straightforward, and it would be quite simple. Now, there are a lot of ways of drilling acrylic, and I'm going to show you the worst way. I don't know what possessed me to want to go to using a twist drill on this. I use twist drills on acrylic all the time, but in the milling machine. So that means the drill bit is held extremely rigidly, and even though this is quite heavy, the acrylic is not going to move anywhere, but it's very difficult to keep it nice and even, keep the pressure even. So I put some water in the bottom, as you can see I'm moving around my hand, just to keep it cool, because that was why I didn't go with the diamond hole saw initially, because I'm really concerned about melting here, and I want to keep it nice and cool. But there's just no way I can hold this steady enough to go through. This is not the full size. This is one size shorter, but it was just too much chattering. So I decided to go down to a much smaller bit and drill through that way. But again, it was still just wasn't. It was grabbing too much, and there's still too much material involved. I have a pretty much a full set of the twist drills, so I decided to go down to a much smaller one. I think I went to 1/4 inch to start off with, pulling the whole thing out here now, and put that in, and then gradually, incrementally went up and to get to where I want, which is a 1-inch hole. Unfortunately, once I get to 1/2 inch, I only have one size, and it's only slightly more than a 1/2 inch because I use it for drilling and tapping, and then it goes straight up to this, which is 7/8, and it's still, even with the drilled out hole to 1/2 inch, it is still just way too big. So after all that nonsense, I have to go to this. So I'm going to took a piece of wood, drilled a 1-inch hole in it. I'm going to put some double-sided tape on this, and I'm going to use the drill bit. Now, again, the reason why I didn't want to do this is diamond bits are wonderful for glass and a number of other things, but acrylic is brittle, and more importantly, it melts. So what's going to happen as soon as I put this in the hole, it's going to melt the acrylic and it's going to bind. Now, I want to do a quick little test here just to see, because there's already a hole there, right? So I just want to put a quick little touch in there just to see how much it was going to warm up. And instantly, it melted the acrylic, and then it cooled off. And I pretty much welded my drill bit to the acrylic. And that is just such a rookie mistake. It takes me about 10 minutes to get this out, and then I go and do it the proper way, which is to keep it cool. Pour water in there and gradually and incrementally make it go through. So this is a perfect lesson in how not to drill acrylic. Anyway, I get it out, and we're going to move over to using the proper method, which is just keeping water, keeping it cool. So this hole still turned out okay in the end. It's fine. It's a hole. It's round. There's no chipping or shelling or anything, and no cracks, which is the most important thing. But yeah, don't do it that way. So there's the water, and then I'm going to, even with this, by the way, I almost got it stuck again. It is really hard to drill acrylic this way. So what I'm doing is I'm pouring water in, and then I'm dipping the drill bit into the water as well to cool it off. So finally got through, and then I smartened up for the last hole here, which you're going to see in a few seconds, and I did that one properly. So here's the hole. That little stuff you see to the left there is just some of the two-sided tape. I'll get it off with some alcohol a little later, but I just want to get this done. So the hole is clean, and we're good for that. So what I did with that piece of wood is I put a V-notch in it, as you can see there. It allowed me to pour water down into this, and I clamped it in place, and I also used a little bit of that two-sided tape to keep everything in where it needs to be. This is going to be filmed at regular speed. The rest of it is speeding up because otherwise this would be like a 40-minute video. Watch how quickly that fogs. That's not anything other than me heating up the acrylic. So when I pour the water, and you'll just see it in a second here, it instantly cools it, and it clears. I missed it. I missed the hole, sorry. You'll see it in the next one. And as this progresses, I take the drill out, I dip the bit into the water, and it's just pretty much a very slow process, just to make sure that everything is nice and cool. There you go. You can see it a little bit there. It'll be much more so in the next clip. It doesn't take long when it comes to thinking about how important it is not to crack this. It's about a 2-minute process, which is really nothing. I mean, I should have just done it this way the first time, and been done with it. I mean, if I had done the other hole this way, and not trying to do the shortcut, because I had that bracing right. I have 3/4 inch piece of plywood behind this, so I thought I'd be more than rigid enough. But you can't hold a twist drill bit solid enough by hand to go through acrylic this way. It'd be just as foolish to try and do that with glass. Now you can do glass freehand with a 1-inch bit much simpler than you can do acrylic, which may sound kind of weird, but it's true. It's the melting effect that's the problem. And of course with glass it's more if you move it back and forth too much, you could crack the glass. But that is less likely than having issues with this, with melting and fusing your drill bit to the acrylic. So you can see how quickly that fogs up. That's just like, this is real time. So we're only talking about a second or two touching it onto the acrylic, and the drill bit just heats up almost instantly. And you can see, watch here now, just as this goes in, almost instantly, as soon as I turn it on, there you go. See how quickly that fogs up? That is just how fast. You can see the steam shooting out there. That's how little that takes for that to get to the point where you have to stop and cool it off. And that's, you can see just at the top there, it's just beginning to push through. So that's pretty much done. So I'm going to drill this hole. This took longer than it should have, but the thing that was the bottleneck for me for hooking this up today is, if you remember in the last video or two ago, I had put together that, it was the PVC piping for the diatom filter. I didn't have any PVC glue at the time, and I still don't, so I hadn't picked it up yet. And I need to do that before I can do the plumbing. So next time we'll do this. I also have to pick up a water pump. We'll get that plumbed and the water flowing through this, and then we'll be good to go. Then we'll get this thing filled up. So thank you very much for watching, putting up with my stupidity, and there you go, a nice clean hole the way I should have done the other one. I'll see you in the next video, and bye for now.